episode 7 of the Noel Mike Project. I'm Mike Field.
I'm Noel Danila.
NMP covers all the interesting articles that we find across the all-glorious internet. So, with that being said...
All hail the PC Master Race. No. First article today. Chicago's taxing on services such as Netflix and Hulu and other web services, essentially. Right now, they got a 9% sales tax on everything Netflix, Hulu, whatever else services are out there related. They classify it under the amusement tax.
Amusement tax.
Yeah. It's eventually a form of tax that Chicago created to help quell some of the debt it came into. They also apply this tax to events such as like concerts, baseball games, that sort of thing. And, you know, it's a way for the city to drive in more money. The thing about this is there's people complaining about it that it actually violates a lot of laws here in regards to the treatment of internet services versus non-internet services kind of thing. And they're actually fighting this now. So now they actually got a whole legal debate about the whole thing, and they're fighting on trying to get this tax taken off of things such as like Amazon and Netflix and Hulu and all that sort of thing. And it's interesting because the way this law works, let me see if I can pull up the exact Chicago, the Tax Freedom Act, which forbids states and cities from imposing discriminatory internet-only taxes. So because you can rent DVDs from Netflix and pay one price and then use the internet services and play a different one. I'm not sure the exact way it works, but because of that Tax Freedom Act, the Internet Tax Freedom Act, it classifies those taxes to be treated equally as non-internet services kind of thing. And it's interesting to see where this is going to go, because I guess this is not just local to the state of Illinois or the city of Chicago, but it's a national thing.
Yeah.
And whatever happens here could, in turn, affect what happens across the board in terms of
setting the standard.
Yeah, setting a new standard in terms of how these internet services are handled tax-wise. And it'd be interesting to see where they go, because some states do have specific things for tax laws. Like, if you buy something off the internet on Amazon in this state, you're paying a certain percentage of tax for that.
Yeah.
And certain states have that, but Chicago, right now, they have nothing put in place. So it'd be interesting to see where this goes. I don't know about you, but 9% for Netflix is kind of high. It's extremely high. Lots of words there. Lots of words.
It just, to me, falls back under, like, taxing the hell out of people. Like, I don't understand. I really don't. There's so many things that I feel like they could address better to get more revenue.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so that they're not spending as much money. Like, for example, like you're going to charge a 9% sales tax on your Netflix, but you're not going to, like, effectively reevaluate your, like, state assistance programs.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure a portion of that money is going to go to that. You know, I hate politics.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things. I'm sure they have their reasons. Probably the most obvious one is they figured something like this would slide under the rug and it's an easy buck for them to make kind of thing.
Yeah, but...
And honestly...
people watch.
I guess this has been going on for a while, and the only reason why it's been brought up now is because the amusement tax that they are using in this was actually just got done renewing, essentially. So they set a period of time for this tax to be applied, and that period of time has lapsed, and now they're renewing it to continue on with that tax. And that's what's bringing the attention upon it. So how they got it passed through in the first place without anybody noticing, I don't know. But because of the whole renewal process, it's popped up on the radar, and now people are throwing a fit about it kind of thing.
Jeez.
I guess follow it. We'll see where it goes, and then
That's about it.
yeah, it could change the way you look at Netflix in terms of a source of entertainment if it gets ridiculously high in tax, or if it's no longer cost effective. I guess I don't know how much that's gonna break the bank, that extra 9%, but in some cases it can make a difference.
Streaming tax.
Oh yeah.
So I imagine that. Well, wouldn't watching like YouTube effectively be like a streaming tax?
Well, because you don't really pay for YouTube. I know YouTube. I think they got a subscription base that you can pay for now. I don't know if that's still in existence. I know they had one for a while, but yeah, for the most part, nobody really pays for YouTube.
That's true.
I mean, it's just like watching any other video on the internet. Netflix is a service, however, that people do pay for.
Yeah.
I mean, you can pay for all kinds of internet services. And it's interesting that they're attacking specific things such as Netflix and Amazon. I guess because of the media, it falls in that amusement category. Mm-hmm. So you really couldn't tax, 9% tax on a TV I bought off of Amazon kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you can tax the movies I would watch on said TV.
Taxing your megabyte.
Yep. I guess it's better than taxing every megabyte that you download.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm waiting for that day. It's gonna come with the way taxes are these days, and I pray that it never does.
Likewise.
But that's that.
That'd be bad.
Speaking of money.
Money. So, on this article, which I didn't know that Bentley was doing this because I go to the auto show every year, and I've never seen the car, so this must be like new post auto show. But Bentley is making an SUV that offers a optional $170,000 analog clock in the dash.
It's an expensive clock for your vehicle, man.
It's an expensive car in general.
How much is the car overall? $170,000 for a clock in my car? I wouldn't pay for that much for a clock in my house, let alone my vehicle. Like, how much money do you have to have for something like that? It's insane.
It costs almost as much as a regular Bentley. A regular Bentley starts at $193,500, and that's probably just for the base model. Yeah, and then if you get the convertible, it's $212,000. So this clock
cost as much as another Bentley, essentially. I would just buy two cars at that point, get a regular digital clock, call it a day.
Yeah, put your phone on the dash.
Yeah, I mean, oh my god.
And the car's not attractive at all.
No, really it's not that good looking.
And if you
links are down below, but
yeah,
take a look at this thing.
Yeah,
the clock looks nice.
The clock looks amazing. The clock, it says right here, where it is. Oh, there it is. It says that it's a 28mm case machined from 18 karat gold in either rose or white, and beneath it lies a dial, either natural black ebony or pearl, and it has been adorned by 12 diamonds for each hour.
That's probably where the money's going, is those diamonds, dude.
Yeah, the gold and the diamond. But I mean, at the same point, dude, I hate it. I hate the additional features that car companies offer because they're so useless sometimes. Like an analog clock. I mean, like Chryslers have them and stuff like that. I'm sure a few other cars do as well, but
there's a bunch of them these days. I don't know why. It's a huge thing. I guess people get them for style, but
yeah, I mean, it looks cool and it's like old school because old school cars had that. But I mean, at the same point, why would you buy the Bentley Bendiagna?
Can't even pronounce it.
No, I can't. But it's a SUV Bentley, and then the picture down there advertising it shows it off-roading. Like,
nobody's gonna take that thing off-road.
Fuck no.
I mean, you might have the money to like get it, take it off-road, and total it, not even care. But nobody is going to. And if you are, I'm gonna slap you. Give me that money. I mean,
yeah,
I just imagine somebody buying this vehicle, buying that clock add-on, And people are just gonna, see that and be like, if they know about it, they're gonna break into the car and just take the clock. They could turn around and sell every one of those diamonds that are in that clock. I mean, those diamonds alone would be worth the hassle of breaking into the thing. I mean, you don't need to steal the car at that point. Just steal the clock, you're good to go.
Screw the radio, screw the wheels.
Screw everything else.
Just give me that clock.
Just take the clock, call it a day, buy yourself a Bentley.
It's
my God.
stupid.
That's a ridiculous amount of money for a clock and a radio. Or not in a radio, but in a car, I should say.
I don't know. I guess it's one of those things like go big or go home.
First world problems is what that is.
It depends on how much you want to talk about yourself. Like, your old high school friend over, like, I just bought this Bentley. Like, come check out this dash. Got this awesome $170,000 clock. See those 12 things? Those are diamonds.
Those are real diamonds, son.
Yep. Blood diamonds.
Took me all year to save up for that clock.
Bentley doesn't care. Bentley.
That's an insane amount of money, dude.
The world of Bentley.
Yeah.
I like their regular cars. Like the Bentley Continental GT and whatnot. What I just looked up.
Nice cars.
Those are nice cars. They just look nice.
I wouldn't pay that price tag though.
Probably not. I'd wait a while and get a used one for like 90,000. No, I wouldn't even pay that. I can't even pay that.
Tell you what, Bentley, you loan us one of these vehicles.
Yep.
And we will talk about how awesome they are for you.
Yeah, forget about car and driver. Let us borrow it.
But yeah, no, that's an insane amount of money, dude.
Yeah, I don't think that would ever be anything. Even if I had the money, I'm not the type to like showboat.
And you buy a car like that, you're gonna showboat.
I guess, but it wouldn't be my intention. I'd be like, people are like, oh, look at this guy driving his Bentley around. I'm like, no, bro, like I'm just trying to go to the grocery store and get some food.
I'm trying to go to the grocery store in my Bentley.
I chose the SUV today because I can fit more groceries in the trunk.
I gotta get milk for the kid.
Yeah.
Don't mind me. Gotta get some milk and eggs. Gotta eat in the morning. Alright, moving on. Grand Theft Auto and the movie The Game Changers, I guess, is a movie that BBC created and actually aired not too long ago, and I guess Rockstar is not happy about it. Essentially what The Game Changers is about, it's about the company Rockstar, which makes the Grand Theft Auto games, coming up and some of the struggles they went through and some of the things they had to overcome to create the game, and not only that, create and get past all the controversy behind the games. Like Grand Theft Auto got huge red flags for all kinds of things.
Oh yeah.
Like violence in video games and all that other stuff.
Sex, drugs, blah,
all that. Basically, The Game Changers is based around that, and almost none of the movie is true or accurate. A lot of the way they portrayed a lot of things is inaccurate and that sort of thing.
What's the gloriousness of television, though? It's a story. It doesn't have to be...
Okay, it doesn't have to be, no. The problem is Rockstar was not behind this project at all. Mm. They did not give them the go-ahead. They did not give them any type of green light. They knew about it. They thought they would, put their trust in the company or whatever, I guess. I don't know how much they knew about it, or if they knew about it while it was still in development, or they didn't find out until after its development kind of thing. But after its release, I guess, Rockstar is not happy, and I guess they're going after BBC. And looking at this, I guess this isn't the first time BBC's fucked up like this. I guess they do all kinds of weird things and shady things, and even something as simple as like copyrights for certain things that they use, they don't even have the proper rights to, and they'll use them anyway. And they got all kinds of stuff going against them in terms of lawsuits, and they just simply, I don't know if they don't care, if they're just ignorant to the whole thing. But it's interesting because I guess if you watch the movie, it's also trying to steer that whole I guess, idea that video games create violent people thing. It's pulling you into that direction, and that's one of the things that Rockstar doesn't like because it's it's false information because there's nothing that actually proves that. And I'm pretty sure there's multiple studies that have been done on the entire subject, and almost all of them prove the exact opposite.
Yeah,
but that's a whole nother controversy thing.
Mm-hmm. If it was like
debate.
The only way I could see video games potentially catering to that, if it was like an open world, free for all. Like if you want to cut Homeboy's arm off, you can cut him off. But I mean, in those games, it's basically just explosions and gunfire. Like
pretty much like anything else these days.
Yeah.
Look at TV, look at the movies. I mean, I guess you could argue, yeah, maybe that creates violent people too, but that's a whole nother debate. The point is like Rockstar is not happy, and I guess the developers of Rockstar and the developers of the Game Changers actually have a spat on Twitter. We'll have links below, but you could see the conversation kind of go back and forth. Like as the movie was airing, like the developers were actually tweeting out like, "Oh, this happened," or "That's complete BS." And it's an interesting read. If you get a chance, check the links below. They got the whole Twitter feed that you could read out, and I'm sure you could actually pull up the actual Twitters and have a little more up to date in terms of the spats that are going on there. But it's interesting because it's the first time I've really seen Rockstar fire back at anything that's fired at them in regards to that. For the most part, they're just like, whatever. We do our own thing, and that's pretty much it. But because of this movie and all the controversy behind it, they're not happy about it, and it's because it's hurting them as a I guess a company. It's hurting their image.
Yeah,
because people are gonna watch this thinking,
hey, they approve this.
Yeah, Rockstar, agrees with whatever this movie's telling them. And it's just simply not true. And that's one of the reasons why they're taking such offense to it. Yeah. And I can see that. But
image is everything.
Absolutely. Video game violence has always been a thing, and it's not going away. So get used to it.
It's true. All right.
Speaking of games,
this is like the third or fourth time this company has come up.
This company has been on the show a lot.
And I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. They say there's no such thing as bad publicity. But apparently there is.
There can be. It gets your name out there, though.
Yes. So Konami calls it quits on their AAA games. Comes up, it's a new report coming out from a French blog stating that aside from Metal Gear Online and Pro Evolution Soccer 2016, after that, there is no more AAA game titles coming from Konami for the systems. After everything that's happened, and like games that they already canceled, like Silent Hills, which was devastating to everybody because it looked gorgeous.
Absolutely, but as we all know, Hideo Kojima left the company, and I guess now recently, which is why this article is made, the director of the Fox engine left the company.
Yes, they did.
Which is
Julian Merceron.
Yeah, which is insane because so much time and effort went into that engine, and now that it's complete, up and running, and being used in games such as Ground Zeroes, Phantom Pain, and honestly, I think those are the only two.
Well, it says right here that Konami never officially announced the cancellation of Silent Hills, though Del Toro and Norman Reedus have both said it's canned.
Yeah, I don't expect it to come out at all. The thing is, I wonder what's going to happen with said engine, the Fox engine. A lot of time and effort went into that. Like, does the director have rights to it? Does Konami still have rights to it? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see the director of the Fox engine and Hideo Kojima get back together and do a Kickstarter of some sort. Do it. I'm telling you, it'll get funded the second you post it. Because those two guys together will definitely create some good stuff. But again, this is all speculation. None of it's been officially announced, and I don't. At the way Konami's being run these days, I don't think they're going to announce anything.
I don't think they're going to be around for much longer. I think the sales of Metal Gear Solid 5 is going to carry them for a little bit longer. And then, I mean, they may pursue, like, moving into, like, mobile games.
Yeah, no, they got their hand in a lot of other things.
I don't see them being... I see something happening where it's not going to be Konami anymore. It's going to be, like, some kind of, like, Square Enix or, like, Bandai Namco thing.
No, it'll still be Konami.
No,
they got their hands in a lot of other things other than just video games. Most of it's this... I forget what the name of it's called, but it's this arcade machine that's huge in Japan, where it's got a bunch of balls and stuff like that, and I forget what it's called. Patinko or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, the gambling things? Okay.
Yeah, they make a lot of those things, and I guess they're doing very well in it, and they're talking about making smaller mobile games, and, you know, they can pretty much poop out whatever they want and people will buy it somewhere because mobile games tend to make a decent chunk of change because they're very, very low budget to make and the turnaround can be pretty profitable if done right. That's not true with everything, of course. There's always that balance, but they see a faster turnaround time, and that's all they're seeing is that faster turnaround time. And honestly, it's not just Konami that's having this problem. There's a lot of bigger game companies out there that it's either go big or go home.
Yes.
The amount of money, the amount of time, the amount of effort that goes into making these huge AAA titles now is just simply staggering.
Well, you could say the same thing about Hollywood movies.
That's true.
That takes years. That takes money.
Look at where Hollywood's at right now. We come out with a movie. If it does well, we make 7 more of them. And that's where gaming is going now. If it does well, we make 7 more of them because they can't afford to take the risks anymore. They aren't willing to take the risks.
Yeah, for
newer IPs, and that's the problem. That's why we have Fast and Furious 7. That's why we have Call of Duty. I don't even know which one we're on now. we got 3 Modern Warfares. We got 3 Black Ops ones. We got Advanced Warfare. We got the World War II ones.
See, that's the thing that would make it different. If it wasn't a yearly release. Because we got 5 Grand Theft Autos. But every single one of them has been phenomenal because they come out.
They've been spread out. No, that's the thing. They were spread out.
If you spread out your content, it will last a lot longer and keep people interested in it.
The problem with that mindset, though, is, you can do that. If the game does well, you're golden.
Oh, for sure.
If the game fails, you are boned.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. Because you're fronting all this money up front, if the game just doesn't do well, it can very well cost you your company. It can very well cost you everything. And that's why we have such a huge gap between the indie games and these big AAA games now. Like, there's no in between anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't exist. And it's either Metal Gear Solid 5 or Titan Souls, like I Am Bread or Goat Simulator,
Yeah.
There's no middle ground. There's no in between. Like, the only thing that sells these days is Call of Duty and Madden and big games like Metal Gear Solid. And the small ones still do well, but we got nothing to fill that middle void. And that's what scares me with the gaming industry these days.
We're going to end it with this person's comment. It says, "Oh great, now we'll get Metal Gear Solid Match 3 games and iPad. I'm sorry, you've used up all of your Snake Stealth gems. But for today, you can buy 10 for $10, 50 for $40, or our Best Buy, 20,000 for 15 grand.
Yes! Take my money.
That's awesome. I don't know. I think that they just need to retweak their management because...
they're retweaking a lot of the company. There's a lot of shady stuff going on at Konami.
But when you get rid of the person who's been keeping your company afloat forever...
Well, that's the problem. They're getting
just fall apart.
They're getting rid of a lot of the big AAA guys. There's so many higher ups in terms of people who've been there for years and know their stuff in terms of graphics, in terms of animation code and all that, and they're just getting rid of them or putting them on jobs that don't even matter kind of thing.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out for them.
There's a whole debacle of that, and honestly, I don't know where the new Konami is going, but the Konami we know and love back when we were growing up, they're dead. Yep. They're gone.
Non-existent.
They're no longer around because they're just gone, and we'll never see them again. At least not in time in the near future.
For sure.
But I was hoping that they make well in their new endeavors because I'd hate to see any company fail. But in terms of gaming, they're no longer a blip on the gaming radar.
Correct.
Moving on into technology. This is one I had second thoughts about sharing here, but Mike persuaded me to talk about it here. I guess there's a whole movement on ethics and sexual intercourse with robots or pleasure bots or whatever you want to call them now. But I guess it's a thing that's getting bigger and bigger because of the development with AI and the way sex toys are, I guess. And I guess they got this whole campaign now of just a campaign against sex robots. And they got this whole movement of people saying, hey, it's unethical. I could see that this part, it objectifies women and fuels the idea that women are objects. I guess I could see that a little bit. But it's interesting because... well, it just is. I really got no follow-up for that. Links down below. It's an interesting read, but I guess they're talking about one of the robots that are being developed for this is right now in development, and you can pre-order one for $7,000. It's called Roxy the robot, and it's Roxy spelled with 3 X's. Just for those of you who need to know how to spell it.
Where do you find out more info, Roxy, not Triple X?
I'm sure it is. But I guess they have hundreds and thousands of these on pre-order, which is no surprise. But the whole fact that this is now a thing that exists, because I guess sex toys have been around for a while, but the fact that it's evolved into something so much more is
interactiveness. Well, yeah. The question did they program it to cook too? And clean the house?
Not yet. I'm sure that's
making
the
sandwiches.
That's the very next thing.
Roxy 2.0.
As soon as that's done with its pleasure mode or whatever, they'll start programming on the AI for cooking and all that.
Yeah, after the moment's over, it's like, do you want a sandwich? Yes.
Yes, I do. Well, it's interesting because the people who are against it say they're against it because it objectifies women, but the people who are for it are also saying like, well, there's people out there who just need some type of companionship and they can't find that anywhere else outside of something like this. And I guess I could see both sides because you do get that companionship, but it's a whole debacle. I don't even know how I feel about the whole thing.
I say just do what makes you happy.
Do whatever makes you happy.
Exactly.
It's interesting though. Feel free to let us know what you think about the whole situation below. I'm sure we'll get some interesting comments.
For all your sex robot needs.
For your sexual robot needs, please follow the links below.
Oh, jeez.
What do we got here?
Okay. So, last week, I covered the article of Last of Us 2 being canceled from one of the voice actors. Not Nolan North, but the other guy who did Joel.
I don't know his name.
Who has the amazing wiki.
Yeah, we talked about him last week.
Yeah.
And now I can't remember his name.
So, basically, the two articles I shared go hand in hand. Tokyo Game Show and Last of Us 2 being canceled. Yesterday, at the Tokyo Game Show, Naughty Dog was doing a Q&A, and somebody slipped up on something or used improper wording, I guess you'd say. Yeah.
Number 1,
So I'll
Naughty Dog may have
play a
accidentally
little
outed The
snippet
Last
of
of
it.
Us 2 during a live stream focused on the Nathan Drake collection, GamePro noticed a slip-up by community strategist Josh Schur, who said all the facial animation in the Uncharted series was led up by Eric here and on the first The Last of Us. Did I say the first The Last of Us?
He did.
You did indeed say the first of Last of Us.
So, if it was canceled, you had no intentions of ever making it or whatever the case is, because Naughty Dog's super secretive.
They're good at keeping secrets.
They are. Except
that guy.
Dildo, you know? Yeah, so basically how it goes, if you weren't ever making one, or you canceled it, or I don't know. His wording just, it's the same that we use on the first Last of Us. You wouldn't throw the first in there.
No, you would just simply
by
say
any means.
Last of Us.
Yeah. It's the same thing that we use on the Last of Us. Cut and dry. So this guy slipped up, so now potentially internet was upset last week saying that it was canceled or not in development at all, and then now a week later it looks like it's development.
Honestly, I don't know what to think. I guarantee you they probably are making a second one because they do have 2 development teams now. The first one is working on Uncharted 4, which begs the question, what is that second team doing? What are they developing, if not Last of Us 2? So, in either case, there's something developing in the Naughty Dog house. Question is what? And honestly, I don't think it matters. Because something simple as this, if they were really smart about it, if Naughty Dog just wanted to mess with us, they would have did this slip up on purpose.
Yeah.
Like talks about Last of Us 2 being canceled or whatever got out there, and if they just want their name out there to get
easy. Sound it out.
Publicity.
There you go.
There's no such thing as bad publicity. And it gets your name out there. It gets you them talking about you, like what's going on here, what are they doing, what are they building?
What I'm waiting for, because before they officially announced The Last of Us, they showed, or the Uncharted 3 came out, and there was a little newspaper clipping that was on the table that you could look at that was talking about an infection spreading in humans. So that was the Easter egg that was like because people read it and were probably like, what the hell is this, Yeah. And then like a month later, at E3, they showed off The Last of Us, which involved all of that. So Uncharted 4 is obviously going to be coming out pretty soon. So what Easter eggs are probably going to be in that, covering,
I'm sure.
If not the same idea of like the fungus spreading people, or it may list names of people, or like somebody's missing, or
there'll be something in there. I promise
you
that, because game companies are known for doing that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, always hiding different things inside of it.
Rockstar did that with the Batman games. They were notorious for building an entire both the first one and the second Arkham Knight games had a whole room that was locked up, kept secret, and there's ways to get to said room, but it was full of just information about the next game and all kinds of things that just open up doors and waves of just information about the next game that they would build for the Batman series. And I guarantee you Uncharted's going to have hints here and there. I mean, they did it before, they'll do it again. Why not? It's a good way to get people talking about your game. It's a good way to get people looking at every nook and cranny about the game, kind of thing. And it's just a good play by Naughty Dog, or any game company for that matter.
Uncharted 4 comes out March 18th of 2016.
Yeah, they just announced that not too long ago. I think they did it at Tokyo Game Show. I'm very excited for Uncharted 4.
Oh yeah, beautiful games.
But
yes.
That's pretty much all I've got. If you got anything else.
That's all you got? You already covered your 3?
Yes, sir.
I already covered my 3?
Yes, sir. I guess so.
Wow. All right. Awesome. So, with that being said, all All right, we'll just close it up then. Wraps up this episode of NMP. Be sure to visit the links below and read or review the videos that we talked about. Also, don't forget to like this video. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to click subscribe so you can get more releases in the future. Also, check out the website, 791zero.com, for more episodes of NMP. And then we will also start adding the Frenemies Play episodes, which is his other channel.
Yes, you should be watching
to the website. So, that's about it. We'll see you guys next week.
So then, enjoy.